Algebra 2, Target 3. I can solve a system of linear equations and interpret their solutions. This is our third video, and today we're going to focus on real-world situations, an application of solving systems. All right, so first we have an example problem. The admission fee at a fair is $1.50 for children and $4 for adults. On a certain day, 2,200 people enter the fair and $5,500 is collected. How many children and how many adults attended? All right, so we need a strategy to figure out how to solve this problem. All right, now a typical problem-solving strategy is the five-step solution or five-step strategy we got here. Step 1: determine what unknowns are involved in the problem. In other words, what are you looking to solve? Right? So reread the problem and say, okay, what do I need to know? What will my answer look like? Step 2: how is the information given in the problem related to your unknowns? Or how is the information given related to what you need to find out? And step 3: write 2 equations based on the information and your unknowns. Step 4: solve the system. And step 5: interpret your solution in terms of the original problem using your unknowns. All right? So let's go back to this problem using it with this strategy. So looking at the problem again, what are the unknowns? Right? What do I need to figure out? Well, I need to figure out how many children and how many adults attended. Those are my unknowns. So I'm going to let one of them be X and one of them be Y. You don't have to use X and Y. It's just typically what's used. So I'm going to say X equals the number of children and Y equals the number of adults. Alright, so we've defined our unknowns. These are our variables. X is children, Y is adults. Okay, what equations can be written to relate the information given to the unknowns? Alright, so let's take a look at this and look at our critical information. We know that 2,200 people enter the fair and that $5,500 are collected. Alright? So we're going to have 2 equations, one for people and one for money. Now for people, all we got to do is just take the kids and adults and put them together. And that'll give us X plus Y equals 2,200. All right? Now for money, how much do we collect from each kid? How much do we collect from each adult? All right? Well, it's $1.50 for each kid, so 1.5x. And it's $4 for each adult, plus 4y. And together, that equals the 5,500. So those are our 2 equations. We found our variables, and then we looked at the critical information. Usually one's going to be just throwing the 2 variables together, and one's going to have a little bit relation with it as far as a multiplication. And so our system, like we said, is X plus Y equals 2,200 and 1.5X plus 4Y equals 5,500. Now let's solve the system. All right, you can use whichever method you choose. You can use substitution, you can use elimination. It's up to you. I'm going to use substitution. So I'm going to take this first equation and solve for Y by subtracting X from both sides. So Y equals 2,200 minus X. We will substitute that in for Y, 1.5X plus 4 times 2,200 minus X equals 5,500. We will distribute 1.5X plus 8,800 or 8,800 minus 4x equals 5,500. Combine like terms, 1.5x minus 4, negative 2.5x plus 8,800 equals 5,500. Subtract our 8,800 from both sides. Negative 2.5x equals negative 3,300. We'll divide by negative 2.5. So our x value, x equals 1,320. Our y value, y equals 2,200 minus 1,320. Y equals 880. We should probably double check that. Plug that into the other equation. We should get the same results. 1.5 times 1,320 plus 4 times 880 should equal 5,500. Okay. 1.5 times 1,320 is 1,980. 4 times 880 is 3,520. If we add those two numbers, we get 5,500. So it works out. Our solution, xy equals 1,320 and 880. All right, as we go through our last step, we need to interpret it in terms of the problem. X was kids, y was adults. So x equals 1,320 kids, and y equals 880 adults. I do not know where those numbers came from. All right, so in review, your problem-solving strategy. Step 1. Determine your variables. What are you looking for? Step 2. How is the information given related to your unknowns? Once you know that, you can write two equations involving your unknowns, your variables. Then you'll solve your system and interpret your solution using your unknowns.